Avon Lake Matters is a bi-weekly podcast about everything that matters to and about Avon Lake. Hi, I'm your host, Jen Miller, and joining us today is Laura Ploenzke from the Avon Lake Public Library. And she's here to talk about the genealogy program, which I'm not sure if everybody's aware of, but it is amazing, and it's free. So good morning.
Good morning. We have a wonderful genealogy series that we do called Discover Your Past. We've been doing this for several years. It came out of COVID when we were doing everything online.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we just kept it online because we get a lot more people that way, and we get to have speakers that we wouldn't normally be able to have. Most of my genealogy speakers are well-versed in doing virtual programs, so it's very easy to just request that, and we've had a great deal of success with it.
Yeah. And I think you're being very humble in that you don't just facilitate these programs. You're passionate about ancestries and genealogy and everything.
I have been doing genealogy myself since I was 12 years old, and I have always enjoyed it. It's just something that I have kept doing throughout the decades. And then when I came to the Avon Lake Public Library in 2016, I was hired mainly to help with the local history room and the local history program. So that's what I've been doing. I've also incorporated genealogy. So I was able to use my passion to help others and to share what I've learned. It's been wonderful. We've had all kinds of different speakers from a local level to international level. And the most we ever had was, we recently broke an attendance record. We had 340 some people.
Wow.
And they come from all over the world, actually, not just the United States. We've had people from England and Germany and all over. So
Yeah.
Australia.
Wow.
It's been very.
So does the program travel by word of mouth? How do they find out about the programs? From the speakers?
Well, it's interesting because many of these speakers have their own followings, so they will post on their websites, on Facebook. I've also advertised on different places where you can find out what's going on in the genealogy world. So that's how people learn about it. They do also tell their friends and their family. So we just keep growing every single time we have a program. We always get new people, and we've had some people who have stayed with us from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, and it's free. It's a free service, although it's not free to facilitate. Where does the money come to support that?
We're very generously funded by the Friends of the Library through their book sales and through membership. So they tell us every year, they give us a budget just like anybody else would. And so within that budget, I work to contact speakers. I just email them. Some of them I've been working with for the past couple of years. So we do have some people who have presented for us multiple times. But this past year in April, I went to the Ohio Genealogical Conference, their annual conference in Sandusky. And I went to the different workshops and heard different people speak. And then I said, yeah, that person would be perfect for us, for our program. So that's how I got to learn about more speakers. And it's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it is genealogy in itself. I mean, it is kind of exciting because you just feel like you just keep discovering more and more things, but you hit a lot of roadblocks. And that's what I like about the programs is these speakers help you get around those roadblocks or, try to decipher things that you have no idea, just because of the time, the difference in times, the difference in language and things like that. So many different pieces to the puzzle.
Yes, we have many different, or I should say, the people who watch our programs, who attend our programs online, have different levels of research experience. So we have some people who are just starting out. Some people have been doing this for years. So I try to pick programs that are going to appeal to most people. So it's not something that if you're really just starting out, you're going to be totally overwhelmed because you don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Likewise, I don't want it to be too easy for those people who have been researching a long time. I always want the program to have something to offer everyone, and have everyone or most people come away learning something. I even learned, and I've been doing this for decades. So I feel like if you come away learning at least one thing, then it will have been worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure that you meet so many interesting people and you hear from so many different people. I hear that you just got some letters in your hands.
Yes, this did not come about because of the program. This was something else, another project that I was working on. When I first came here to try to get an idea of the history of the area, I started researching the people who used to live here by research looking at the censuses. I looked at the 1850 census as the earliest census where you have everybody in the household listed.
Mhm.
So I started with that one and I started researching the history of some of these people. I found out that a good percentage of the people who were here starting in the 1840s came from a particular area in England. And so I would put that information on Family Search, which is a large genealogy database. It's free, so and it's open source, so anybody can work on it. When you put information on that site, your name is attached to the information that you post. So somebody from England contacted me, and of course, they wanted to know, they always want to know, are you related to these people? I said, no, I explained what I was doing. And then we corresponded for a little bit on and off. This was back in 2021. And then he emailed me one day and said, I just came across some letters, a group of letters that have been preserved at a record office. That's several hours away from me. But if I have time at some point, if you want me to, I will go to this office and photograph all these letters and send them to you. So of course I was thrilled and I said, absolutely, at your convenience. I'm not going to, hound you on this.
Yeah, as
So
excited as
right,
excited as I am.
yeah, right. I know, that was going to be a special trip for him. So, but he offered to do it. And so it took 2 years, but he just this past May, he emailed me and said, yes, I've been down there and I did look at the letters. He had to make a special arrangement with the senior archivist at the records office. And they did allow him to photograph the letters, but they said we were not allowed to digitize them. So when I got them, I was able to print them out. That was our agreement. And I
Mhm.
could put them in a book to use in the local history room. But even though we're trying to digitize most of our collection, we were not allowed to digitize these records because their office has not even done that. So they want to be the ones to do that, which is fine
Right.
because that's where their home is. So I did just get them a few weeks ago. I printed them out. We not only have copies of the original letters, which span about 3 decades. They start in 1849 and
Wow.
they go through the 1880s. But we also have the transcripts. So somebody actually went through all these letters and typed them up. So we have copies of that too. And they're in a binder and they'll be in the local history room. The letters are absolutely fascinating. They tell of the life that people led back in the mid 1800s here in Avon Township.
Wow.
He was a butcher. And so a lot of the letters are talking about, oh, I killed this many pigs today, or I killed this many cows, or whatever. So that's prevalent in every single letter he wrote, just about. But there's just fascinating stuff that you wouldn't learn otherwise. And as far as I know, we don't have that kind of primary resource in our collection. Well, I know we don't in our collection, but even in this area, I'm not sure what exists that's equivalent to this kind of resource.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. And, there's so much. I do a little bit of genealogy myself, and I love just something will pop up that somebody has like a document and they post it. And, is that where most of the resource? I know the census is important, and, it's unfortunately, I don't think it's as detailed as it was back in the day. Is that correct?
The current census?
Mm
No, in fact, the 1950 census just came out not too long ago, and that has some information on it. But as you progress from now on, it's still going to get less and less informative.
Right.
In fact, I remember filling out the 2000 census, and they basically asked your name and where you lived, and that was about it.
Right.
And I was very disappointed because people in future generations, not that these records were created for us to find,
Right.
but future generations are going to be looking at this information and looking at these census records, and they're not going to learn much of anything.
Right. Right. I know. That's why I loved finding, like, there were some missing pieces of our family puzzle, and just, it lists their occupation and where they lived. I was able to, like, Google to see, and, with our hands so easily on Google, we can do so much research or searching for things. But I feel like people have so many things in their own private stash or their own private memories. If it's shared, it's just amazing. And to hear those letters.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it makes me always wonder when I get a collection like this or hear about something like this, what else is out there that we don't know about? Like you were saying, people's private collections are really going to be the wealth of information that we have. Unfortunately, people don't plan for when they're no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when their relatives come to sort through everything, a lot of this gets thrown out, unfortunately. Yeah. We've been fortunate over the years that I've been here in the library where people have called us up and said, oh, my parents just passed away and I'm going through their house. We found some things. Would you like them? I would rather have them bring that to the library and have us go through them and say, no, we don't, we can't use this, or it doesn't fit our collection or whatever, than have people just throw them out, because there's always something I find that we can use. So if they had just thrown everything out collectively, then we would have missed some real gems.
Yeah, lost forever.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah.
There's not anything like that you can replace.
Right. And you mentioned Family Search. I know the library also has some free search engines that you can go into the library and use. And which are those?
So thanks to the state of Ohio, they provide the funding to have us have these websites. So we have Ancestry Library Edition, which is a scaled down version of Ancestry, which I think most people are familiar with. That is a paid subscription if you were to do it yourself. If you were to get this on your own computer, there's nothing you can access on that website that's free. However, when you come into the library, and you must be in the library because of licensing, you can use the Ancestry Library Edition. The difference between that and Ancestry that you would pay for is that the paid subscription is more interactive. You have access to contacting other people. You can post your own tree, that sort of thing. But with Ancestry Library Edition, it's just research only, which is, I think, fine for what most people want to use it for. We also have Heritage Quest, which again is more of a scaled down version of Ancestry. They have census records. They have some other databases that they feature. And then we have a few others. But you can go to our website, alpl.org, and look under genealogy and local history, and you'll see what we offer.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if people don't know about the history room in the library, go check it out, because there's some really, the photographs, the letters, it's an impressive collection.
I should mention that we also have an online presence, have a database called BiblioBoard. And you can find that's linked on our website as well. I'm in charge of digitizing most of our collection. So if you want to, you can just go to BiblioBoard yourself and just find Avon Lake Library, and you'll see all the different collections that we have online. So I know the Avon on the Lake Garden Club has used our collection online. They love it. Now that everything's digitized, they can go back and look at the history of their organization and look at the minutes. They can look at, we have all kinds of documents from that organization. Many of the organizations that either existed or still exist in Avon Lake, we have those digitized. We have old photographs from different families and homes. So there's just a wealth of information on that site. A couple years ago, 2 different people from the Walker family, they're related to the Walkers of Walker Road, and they also came over from England, but not in the same area. They came across boxes of old family photos. So
Oh my.
they let us scan those and digitize them, and those are up on our site as well. I love to look at those. That's probably my favorite collection.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there's so much history here, and there's still a lot of families that still are in Avon Lake. So hopefully they have closets full of things that they're not aware of that we'll get to see someday.
Oh, I always encourage people, when in doubt, just bring it to the library. We'll tell you if we can't use it, we'll tell you maybe where you can, find a home for it. Because I would hate to see some of this stuff or any of it in a landfill.
I know, I
That
know.
just, that just upsets me.
Yeah, that's really that would be heartbreaking. To come into the library to use Ancestry and think you need a library card, but for the online classes that you offer, you do not need a library card. Is that correct?
No, you don't. You can go to our local history and genealogy section on our website. Again, it's alpl.org, and you can link to the classes that we have upcoming. And most of our classes are in the fall. We had a wonderful slate of programs this fall. We have a bunch coming up between January and May this year. Not as many. I think it's like 2 a month. But yeah, go see what we have. There are some genealogy speakers that you may have heard of. Even the ones that you haven't, we've had, there's still, all of them are wonderful and very informative.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's free. You can register on our website. And and then we send you a Zoom link and you can read more about the speakers and the program.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, another wonderful service from our Avon Lake Public Library. I love it. So thank you so much for all that information. And yeah, I know the beginning of the year is a good time to get started too. I know Ancestry is having sales and and then, even the DNA test,
DNA.
that's fun. And
Yep. Yeah, the other thing I should mention too is that a couple of years ago, we purchased a scanner, which is a huge piece of equipment. If you have albums or pictures or maps or anything that you want to preserve, we probably can scan it. And you can bring in a flash drive, you can put everything on the flash drive or email it to yourself, whatever you want to do. We've had people come in and do that very thing. So you just need to make an appointment with me, and then I can show you how to use the equipment, and then you're welcome to use it. And that is free. You just have to make an appointment.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. But thank you so much for joining us. This is great information to know. And it is fun. I'm sure it's fun for you to watch and hear what people discover.
Oh, it is. I've gotten some great feedback from people all over the world, and I'm just so grateful to the Friends of the Library who keep funding us, and so that we can keep offering these programs. Because, as I said, there are some people who have watched every single program that we've done, and they really look forward to it. So it's something that I feel like I've established a real community.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. All right, great. Thank you so much, Laura.
All right, thank you.
Subscribe to Avon Lake Matters wherever you get your podcasts, and check out the full podcast library at avonlake.org/podcast. If you have any topics of interest or people that you would like to have featured, please call us at 440-933-7677 or email us at digitalmedia@avonlake.org.